Hello everyone, welcome to MTG University. Today I'm going to retry my Bant Superfriends deck with a little bit of modification. Yesterday I had a quest to finish a bunch of attackers. I think it was 45 attackers. I did not finish that with mono white. Unfortunately, a lot of my opponents just kind of quit before I get to attack, so there's that going. But this time, today I have a quest that is to play blue and white spells. So I thought about using mono white again, but it's not that fun. And I thought about revisiting this deck that had a pretty sort of a woeful win rate. Could be just my play, could be the sort of modifications the deck that needs to be made. So I made some modifications. I believe it's originally had 3 of each. I've made it 4 of each of the wedding announcement and Broker's Ascendancy, since that is the crux of the deck. We need to have 4 of each to try to get those off early game for them to have some sort of effect. And then for Lone Speaker, that was already in the Lone Speaker was already in the original deck, but I think I'm going to try to mulligan aggressively for them. We do need these out in turn 2 for us to get the proper mana, but I also added in a Celestis for extended mana in the future if I needed to. Also a lot of pitches and loots that could be good. Comboing off Lone Speaker, Celestis, and a land with Teferi is always very nice. So that's why the Celestis is in here. I cut down the high-end Planeswalker a little bit. So there's 2 Ren, 2 Tamiyo, and 2 Elspeth. Those are our high-end Planeswalker. They cost 5. We also have 2 Teferi and 4 Wandering Emperor just to have some early game sort of, or mid-game tempo and mid-game mana that could be helpful. Obviously, we have the Farewell and the Depopulate. That is for removal. 2 Urza, Assemble the Titan. This is a very iffy card in the deck. I'm not sure running 2 off is worth it, or maybe 1 off, or none off. It's a very good card, but it's only really good for a slower meta. And we're very afraid of any blue meta that counters the entire deck, and that is the biggest worry, because we don't have anything to go against counter spells. We do have a Falco Spara. I had an extra spot open, and I thought Falco Spara might have been a good card. It gets under negate. It gets under the Spell Pierce that I've seen some kind of floating around there, and it is a flying, so you can use it to block the Jin for a turn if you needed to. Actually, 2 turns since it has a shield counter, and you can use it to cast spells by removing counters. The Broker's Ascendancy is going to give a lot of. So yeah, this might be a good card. I'm not quite sure yet. And then of course Storm the Festival to do Storm the Festival things. 2 Storm the Festivals only because I had a lot of these kind of being dead in my hand in the last time I tried this deck. So I cut it down to 2. So that's the current deck. There's 25 lands, only 2 Plaza Heroes. I'm not sure if we should run 2 or 4, but Plaza Hero is a very good card for this deck that's full of Planeswalkers for sure. Now, this is a money pile, basically, right? A lot of these cards are worth a lot of money because they're Planeswalkers and Mythic rares, but I think it's fun, and the way this deck works is that when you're losing, it feels horrible, and your opponent overruns you. And at the times that you're winning, you are winning by a mile. Because as you can see, the Wedding Announcement and Broker's Ascendancy, when these pop off, you just have a board of like 7/7s going against your opponent. It is just embarrassingly strong. And then if you have any of these Planeswalkers stick with Broker's Ascendancy, you basically have another amazing ability that you can trigger every single turn, which is, again, very, very good. So that is this deck. I'm not sure if it's perfect yet. As far as the Bant Ascendancy go, I really want to keep trying out and see what is the best sort of direction to tackle, but I'm going to try this today. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to rank up today using this deck because it's very difficult to kind of learn. So I'm going to do this as an experimentation. It's a social experiment. Okay, we met our first opponent, and they are the Calamar. I don't think I'll ever get past Platinum with this deck. We only have 2 lands. Not really anything to play turn 1. We do go first, but I'm going to mulligan and hope to get a Lone Speaker. And we do. Okay, so now I'm going to keep. I will throw back my Ren, maybe? It's kind of iffy, but yeah, I'll throw back the Rend because Falco is good with a Broker's Ascendancy. Wedding Announcement is good with the Ascendancy. And of course, we start off going against blue. So, yeah, that happened. And they're gonna flip. They're gonna flip. Oh, they don't flip. Okay, well, anyways, this deck is not gonna do well against mono blue, and I have a feeling there's gonna be a litany of mono blue in the format today. Absolutely horrendous. And then we don't draw lands. That's awful. So let's play a Wedding Announcement and get it spell pierced. There it is. Yeah, this deck is so slow, it's not going to work against mono blue. And I really did not tech against mono blue at all because I've already conceded these kind of games. Unfortunately, it runs worse when you don't draw lands, right? And we only have 2 lands, so all the Wedding Announcements in the world is not going to save us once these Delvers flip. Probably going to Fading Hold this. Yep, there it is. If he keeps on top, we're probably going to lose. Okay, keep on the bottom, so, or put to the bottom. Are they going to flip? Still no flips. This is why I don't understand about this new Delver deck. They hardly ever flip, so what the heck's going on? Are we finally going to draw land? We finally draw land. There's 4 mana, so whatever he plays is probably a counterspell. We can get another Wedding Announcement out. It's probably going to get countered again. We can get Falco Spara out, but getting Falco Spara countered is very hurtful. We can hope that they don't flip. Okay. This is not Vigilance, so there's no point. At some point these are going to flip, but we're already pretty low on life. There they are. Okay, well, we draw lands a little bit too slow, so not sure where to go with this deck. We could attack, but we're gonna go down to 3 next turn, so there's almost no way of coming back out of this. Alright, the Ascendancy doesn't do much of anything. This land doesn't do much of anything. Falco Spara doesn't do anything because it would just get bounced. Let's try to gain 2 life. He's going to consider. What the heck is this? Drake? Why would you run Drake in this deck? Did they not run Jinx? Is that why?
Innocent has been through enough. It needs our help.
Alright, let's untap a creature, and let's also untap a land. It's probably going to Fading Hope our Lone Speaker. Yep.
Give me a moment.
Okay, so if our opponent is a competent player, he will definitely attack us and not the Teferi. I have a feeling he's going to attack the Teferi. See? He had a chance to bring us to 5, but instead he killed a little Planeswalker that's not helping us win the game. His 5 mana open, he probably has a counterspell with those 5 mana, but we will attack first. Try to get another draw off the Wedding Announcement. That was, what, 4 draws off the Wedding Announcement and no lands? So yeah, that is the way this game's going. Slip out the bag. Well, we finally draw land, but can't play at the end of turn. Take 4, that's fine. We'll play this land. I'm going to play tapped. Can we take another 4? It's a pretty big board, but we know he has no counters because he slipped out the back instead. So, No, we can't play an Ascendancy for sure, but I was thinking maybe playing out 2 Lone Speakers. Playing out 2 Lone Speakers actually will hit us for 1 because of the waste, or the coast. Playing out Falco Sparrow hit us for 1 as well. That might not be as good. Maybe we should get the mana out of the way. 4. Okay. So yeah, if this gets countered, it will hurt. We're gonna go down to 2. He does have Fading Hope, right? But he already played 2. I don't know how many Fading Hopes he has in his deck. Here's something that I thought about, modifications to this deck that can be made, and that probably requires a few hexproof creatures, if there are any. Hexproof really kills this deck. Essence counter. Well, that just throws us for loops. Oh, that's game. Yeah, mono blue. So this deck does not handle well against mono blue, especially when we don't draw lands. And oh, we almost got out of platinum. That's unfortunate. I don't know why I chose to play that deck, this deck today, but I really enjoy playing it though. I think it's a pretty good deck. It's just when you play against mono blue, there is only one type of deck that goes well against it, and that is a beatdown. You have to be on the proactively, side. I guess that's how you put it, so that their counter spells are not that good when it's 1-for-1ing you. If you have big sort of turnaround plays, their counterspell is going to wreck you. Ah, Fruit Punch Samurai! Hey, it's this Katsura. We're gonna go second, unfortunately, but we do have 3 lands and a Lone Speaker, so we will keep this hand. This hand is vastly better than the last hand, but this time, unfortunately, we're going second. And they're gonna drop an island and pretty much ruin our day. Okay, not an island. Not ruin our days yet. Are we going to be mirroring Farmhand? You realize this guy does not put the land in play, right? The Lone Speaker is a dork, a mana dork. Oh, this is so much better than that. Why would you run a Farmhand? I don't know, maybe it's for fetching a land out for your deck? It's iffy. I don't know. Also, I don't know what to play next turn. I could drop the Teferi, should the Lone Speaker survive, which I think you will. But the Teferi is really just going to get attacked, so... Oh, okay, no, the Lone Speaker is getting bounced. Which is fine. Does that for 1 extra damage. I'm not sure if that is worth the effort. This is a very good card in Commander. Aether Channeler, I thought about running this card in a lot of decks because it has so many modes. Having modes is good in Commander because there are different situations that could happen. He left 2 lands open, so I wonder what that means, right? Okay, so I can play something that costs 3, and then he's probably going to what is that thing called where he sacrifices for make disappear? Make me pay 4? I can't pay 4, huh? So yeah, I could get out the Ascendancy, it's going to get countered. I can get out the Fairy, it's going to get countered. Something's going to get countered. I might as well play something out and let it get countered. Or I can hold for the Emperor. Yeah, I'm going to hold for the Emperor. And let the Emperor get countered. It's this is not a aggro deck yet, so having the Emperor get countered is okay. Because I don't need to gain that 2 life or get a board presence from her. Love Umbrella. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so when it comes in, it's going to exile things. I'm not going to play the Emperor into that, because then they're going to attack me. But I will play the Emperor now, and let it get countered. Okay, so you didn't want to counter me, so I will make a little guy and block your farmhand.
Talking.
I didn't really feel a stick there, so that means I can drop this a fairy. Hopefully it's not useless. Let me try this first. Okay, I'll make a 2/2.
Guards, to me.
Ah, there's a stick. So maybe he has a counter spell, he just didn't want to counter the Emperor. It's gonna casualty, that's what it's called. He's not gonna casualty because I don't have lands, but he's gonna counter it. What I meant to say. Alright, he's got Lagrella. If he wants to Lagrella his, or he wants to attack with Lagrella, I will double block. He wants to bounce. I mean, he's putting a lot on the board, which isn't good for him. Well, that just means the Emperor has to die, but I will block his Spirited Companion. Poor Emperor.
I guess
Did not get protected. Alright, so now there's a choice between Urza, assembles the Titans, and Elspeth. Elspeth -3 could help us look for a card, and he only has 1 mana open. That might be the play. But of course, once I'm -3, Elspeth is going to die. And yeah.
I'm not looking for trouble, but I'll
If she
fight.
dies,
This
she
is
dies.
my
Okay,
sword,
Celestis is an
and I'm
interesting
going to
play.
protect it.
But I think getting out the wedding announcement is League's better, because we can start making 1/1s. And they can't really kill the wedding announcement without going through some hassle, because it has a... Does having an extra 1/1 help? He has 3 creatures. So if we block 2 of those creatures, assuming he has no removal, we can keep Elspeth alive. That's a lot of work. But we'll do it. Getting an extra land out isn't exactly the best scenario. And we'll also attack, because it's vigilance. If he wants to block, that's not the end of the world. Alright, he's gonna attack. We just block the umbrella. And Elspeth go down to 1.
You can't just push me around like the others.
Hearing. Makes a 1/1. Now we get a land anyways. Alright, he has 3 land open, so having a land, or getting the land open is not going to help against the counter spell, be Farewell. Farewell is very good, but not in this situation. Alright, if we Ascendancy twice, this goes up to 4, and there's only 3 damage. Oh, there will be 4 damage on the board. Urza assembles the Titan might be good if we use the +1 ability to, or the chapter 1 to just fetch. No, I think the Ascendancy is better. We get a 1/1 from the wedding announcement that becomes a 3/3, assuming the Ascendancies live. It might not. Oh, he has 4 lands. I didn't see the plane. So yeah, he could have 2 counterspells here. There's 2 cards. And there's a stick. Let's do it again. This time we'll take some life. And he has a spell pierce. Yep. We gotta get these counterspells out of his hands before
I know
we get
there's
to
a
the
hero inside you.
Farewell turn. So he can kill Elspeth if he wants to, but Elspeth wasn't long for this world anyways. We already know that. It's fine. Elspeth conquers death. So if he full swings, the only way he can kill is if he full swings. And if he full swings, I will have to block the Spirited Companion. So that's a funny... Oh well, that happens. You Lagrella his Lagrella. Why would he do that? Oh no, that's Legend Rule. That was weird. Okay, he's gonna return creature and he's gonna do that again. Okay, that's fair. I guess you can do that. That's a play you can make.
This war is getting out of hand.
So, should I take out enchantments? This is gonna be a 1/1 that can exile graveyards. I don't see why I would take out enchantments, but I will take out creatures and graveyards. If he has a counter spell, that really stops our farewell in its track. Maybe it's just a bounce spell. We can hope, right? So yeah, when we run this deck, we just always go up to a deck that's gem-packed with counter spells. Why did he casualty? I only have one land open. What? Did I have 2 mana open somewhere? I didn't know. Oh, did I have the Celestus? I don't have the Celestus. What the heck? What was that? Okay. So that happened. I'm not really sure why that happened, but it happened. Alright, so I guess I'll have to ask Urza to help us assemble something. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. A bunch of trash. Back-to-back trash, I guess. This Urza's not going to do anything at all. And we got a blocker, so there's at least that. Get a bigger blocker out here. Yeah, I kept to depopulate the farewell and then another Urza's. Might be good for us to have some field clean in reserve. But yeah, every game we play so far has been decks jam-packed full of counterspells, and these decks just die in today's meta against mono black, so I don't see it going anywhere. But they are very good against us because we're full of 4 drops and 5 drops. Oh, I think I'm dying. Okay, so I can make a creature or a land. That's a thing. Or I can attack with the 4/4 is also a thing. The 4/4 really isn't going to do anything. My board isn't really going to do anything. That's unfortunate. So kind of at a standstill. He has 1 card, and I have 1 card. I'll attack with a 3/5. See if he wants to block. Oh, he does want to block. So he has a Lagrella in his hand. Okay. But I do want to kill his Lagrella here. Get my Lone Speaker back. He's gonna bounce my token. Right? Yeah. And then he has a board. I have a board. This is gonna go up to 3/5. That's fine. I didn't want to depopulate there because he's still gonna have a creature. And yeah, it is 4/3 is not gonna go over my 3/5, and I have a pretty healthy life total, so it's not the end of the world. But this Urza is just going to waste, unfortunately. Gonna march. That's fine. And he can full swing. We have a healthy life total. What can he even exile? Nothing really too crazy. I was going to farewell the graveyard, so not like I cared. Oh, our farewell. It was as if meant something. Okay, so we're taking a chunk of damage, and hopefully that's not another counter spell. Let's just depopulate here. Oh god, is it another counterspell? Jesus. Okay, if it's another counterspell, we just lose, because they draw all of their counterspells. Yep. That's fun game, right? So yeah, that's another game we played. All right, so whenever we run any other deck, all we see is mono black. But whenever we run a deck that's good against mono black, all we're gonna see is counter spells. That's really tilting. Can't even finish a quest like this. Alright, we go first. We have Lone Speaker, but no green lands or green mana. We have 3 green cards and no green mana, so we gotta have the mulligan in this hand. Okay, so we'll keep this hand and we'll put back a land. Probably the Otawara. Maybe the plane. Probably the plane. So we got blue, green, white. Or white, blue, green. Alright, so we'll put back the plane. Alright, what are you gonna... Oh, come on! Gideon, and mono blue again? Why are we playing this game? Why are we playing this game? This is what the map does to you. Just an embarrassing amount of counterspell against your opponent, I guess. There's Syncopate, of course. Doesn't flip because the deck is trash. And now they're gonna find a path. Mill 4 cards. Oh, the mill is... The card is helping him flip. He milled it. Alright, he has only 1 land open, so I think it's turn to play the Wandering Emperor, but it's probably gonna get Spell Pierce. Yeah, right? They just have everything. What did he exile? Syncopate. Okay, you can syncopate on return. Got a Jin. His land or his cards cost 1 less. He's got to make this appear. We're gonna Emperor anyways. There it is. Alright, we top an untapped land. We might go to Farewell. And of course we don't, so we'll play our Teferi. Is it another Spell Pierce? Swear to God. Oh, I guess the Jin does lower the mana cost by a little.
I know.
Wait, do it? Why do I want to untap? I want to draw.
The future looks
Okay,
bright in
so
front of us.
Spar Headquarters okay. Not the best, but get his job done. They get another draw, add another counter spell, and they're both attacking. Oh no, he's attacking
We
me.
will meet again.
Okay, so will this Farewell hit? He has 5 lands open, but if it doesn't hit, who cares, right? We don't really come back from this. Fading Hope, his own creature. Bottom, gone. Wow, okay, so might be able to claw back ever so slightly. Mill himself. Elspeth will get attacked by the Delver, but better Elspeth than my face, right? I think. Or I can play the Lone Speaker and Broker's Ascendancy. No, Elspeth. Not trash.
To feel like home.
Please.
I'll be your shield.
Okay, so this will bring Elspeth back up to 3, which will get killed by any attack, so not really a point to that. Doesn't flip the Delver. Oh, he's gonna Spell Pierce me on his turn. Does he not have any card draw? Trash that. Just trash. Okay, so
Be brave.
we will give it lifelink. I thought about giving it flying, but you know, why? Let's get the Ascendancy out. I kept the lands open instead of playing Lone Speaker for the Gonjo. It will make him quit because his deck is trash. Or he would just quit. Good game. I hate Mono Blue. I hate it so much. Because I don't like to play games where basically you only win if you get lucky. And every game is not about skill, but just a coin flip. You know, that's not really fun in Magic. But hey, maybe I'm just salty. I'm gonna try another game. Although I finished that quest, I think I have another blue cards quest that I can try to finish, and I only won one game today. This is Exfo Blacks. This guy's definitely gonna play Mono Blue. All right, we got Lone Speaker. We have green mana. We are not on the play, but hey, see, told you. What did I say? This is some trash current meta that we're going through. Everyone just play Mono Blue. This deck's not even good. I've seen, I don't know, 8 Delvers today now, and maybe one of them flipped, or 2 of them flipped. Alright, here comes a counterspell to take out my Lone Speak. No? Maybe a Fading Hope? Just to consider. Alright, if he keeps on top, it's finally going to flip. Well, you can't keep on top, huh? I don't understand consider in this deck then. Now he's going to consider a lot. I guess there is a lot to consider to your life if you're playing this stupid deck. Flip? No flip. Come on, Delver, what are you doing? I remember back in the days when Delver was such a good deck. Because you had the, was it a Geisting Draft? Geisting Craft? It was Geist. That was what made the deck really good because you just have 8 creatures in the deck and the rest are, you know, tempo cards that win you the game. Alright, so that is an instant sorcery that he wants to get with as a Delver. That's why it happened the way it happened. And there's not really much we can do on turn 3. So, the only wedding announcement. I guess there is some benefits to a deck like this, maybe from the anti-mono black perspective. But honestly, with that kind of gameplay, you just die to the mono black aggros that makes you discard cards. So yeah, I don't really understand it too much. Okay, so he's gotta make this appear, which means that most of the plays that we're gonna make are bad. If I double Lone Speaker, his Ledger Shredder will trigger, which is also bad. The Otawara isn't really gonna do much except bounce one of these things. And that doesn't slow down the whole game at all. We're taking a lot every turn. So we're gonna have to Lone Speaker twice. Maybe he'll counter this Lone Speaker. He'll counter this Lone Speaker for sure, right? Yeah, this is when Mono Black was so good with Cut Down. These creatures just die to a 1-mana spell. Unfortunately, I was trying to get away from the black meta, and it seems like I can't. Not when the opponent just plays trash. Yeah, why would you make this appear a Llanowar Lone Speaker? I don't understand the thought process behind that. But the opponent does what the opponent does, so now we have 2 of these. Yeah, I don't understand it, but he probably has more counterspell in his hand and will crush us when we try to farewell. Yes, do the attacks. Come on, play another Jin. You know you wanna. He has stick, which means that these aren't just counter spells, but I'm not sure what they are. We don't die next turn. Drop a land first. We don't die next turn, so I don't want a 1/1, I want to draw. Okay, so let's try to farewell. All creatures and all graveyards. Is it gonna pop off? You have just bounces. Oh, they slip out the back. Does he have another slip out the back or something? Well, if he has another one, don't I just die? Just play. Oh, opponent's one of those gamers that likes to rope the entire game, even though they're playing mono blue. I really don't like mono-colored decks too much because there's not much thinking involved. It's just, I hit the curve, I win, or I don't, I lose. It's Gonjo his own creature. I mean, okay, I've been ragging on it a lot. It's not the worst color. It's just the way it's played is not fun to me. So I don't. I guess I can play it that way. Well, Emperor's really good, so I will do that. Say goodbye to Exodia.
Anyone who harms my people must contend with. You're done.
All right, so his Ledger Shredder will kill the Emperor. And out to Fairy.
Be bad.
I don't know if he has a counter spell or not. But I will to Fairy. No counter spells. Well, if there's no counter spells,
Explain what I'm
then I'm going to untap.
Another show than
No creatures, but I will untap a land somewhere. I need a white.
Give me a moment.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to attack this for 2 if I play a Broker's Ascendancy. This will trigger the Connive. That's annoying. But this will go up to 6. But this will make it 2/2. The choices we have to make. I gave him this I was better, I think. And he might draw a counterspell to counter my Broker's Ascendancy. You never know. Oh, he had a land. So the Ledger Shredder didn't grow. Combat Research. Okay, so whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, so it's not even attacking to Fairy. It's got a lot of lands going. And I got a lot of nothing. Let's
The next few moments will
try to dig. And our dig has yielded crap. Okay, so we're gonna have to play a lot of random crap. There's a wedding announcement. Here's a Broker's Ascendancy. Gonna deny. Yeah, the dig is what we need to fungus the Fairy, but all these counter spells are hurting us. Counter target spell. Consider. Why did you pitch that? Why did you... Do you not know how to play your own deck? Creature spell, but I have creatures. Oh, I guess he doesn't know that, but this deck has creatures. Haven't I played a Lone Speaker? I did. Oh, draws 2 cards when he shreds. That's really good for him, not good for us. Huge temple. We're just gonna have to dig every turn. Hope we get something.
nothing like a change of plans to keep
We
things
don't. We get wedding announcement again. That's like our 3rd wedding announcement. Well, unannounced some weddings, I guess. He probably still has counter spells. Spell Pierce. I mean, I'll play. pay it. And for some reason, it attacked my Desert Beach to pay it instead of the Dark Heart Waste. Oh, he dies next turn. I think 14. So I better figure something out. Fading Hope will slow down the game. Can't be blocked as long as you cast an instant. Alright. You got that going. I'll give him a land though. I'm not gonna let him draw 2 cards. Is that what you do? Then I'll go sage you your combat research. Have a land. And does he have something that... Oh, you gotta have something in his draw, right? Because the Teferi would just have this Haunting Figment. There's the Fading Hope. Now we're gonna need the Teferi to dig some more. I don't even know if I have anything to dig out of the Lighter Shredder. The only removal in the deck is the Emperor, and the Emperor is not going to do that well against, you know, all them fancy cards. So I guess we'll Storm first. And what if our Storm fails? Then we die. That's not very good. Plaza of Heroes. Completely useless card. I might as well play a land first before we storm. Do we have green? That's 1 green, 2 green. Oh, we're gonna pay a 1. Alright, we go to 2. We're gonna die anyways. If this gets countered, we die. If he only has a spell pierce, we can pay for it. And our opponent's roping. Dude, if you win, just win. Okay, so we get... What do we have in the graveyard here? A Wandering Emperor. I think it's better to have the Emperor and Elspeth out. Insanely good.
You're a good runaway. You'll be safer.
Actually, we should activate this first. Because the Emperor activation is flash.
This is your fight.
We'll give it lifelink. So if there's any sort of response, in response to that, we can respond to that. So it's going to deal 4 damage, 5, 6 damage. We gain some life. Alright, blocks. That's not good for him. We gain 5. We go to 7. You can only deal 4 damage. If he didn't block, he could have connived for lethal there. But instead, our opponent is bad at the game. Now he's holding back, because he's still bad at the game. Attacking the Emperor. Dude, I have 15 damage staring on the board.
Never done for good.
What do you have?
The future looks bright for one of us.
Eesh. You're so bad at this game, just leave. Okay, I think I'm done with today's meta. It's all mono blue, which is insanely annoying. Mainly because it's not even a good deck, as you can see. We were on uphill battle, but we still won the last 2 games. And when it comes to this deck, going against mono blue is the crux. And we've been going against mono blue 3 of the last 4 games. Blue decks really eat this deck's lunch because we don't have anything to stop against counter spells. The only way to go against that is to just keep playing your cards out, because how many counters can they have, right? But the one way we can kind of combat that is try to look for a hexproof or a big ward creature. That's always good. So in that case, maybe the Sky Turtle could be good. In fact, let's look at what hexproof creatures there could be. Is there any? The Caretaker may be good. Other than that, Tamiyo's Safekeeping may be decent. This is the creatures, the untapped creatures you control have hexproof. And so yeah, this might be the best card for hexproof because you're not going to tap your creatures to block. And if you have hexproof, your opponent really can't get to you. So that's really good. I don't want to run Zerg because that's not the type of deck. And that's the only hexproof that really is scary to the opponent. Let's see what craft there are. No, these are all the hexproof in current meta. So yeah, I think if you want to counter mono blue, the Sarith, the Vampire's Fang, is something you want to consider. This is not that good because you have to be a combat deck for this to be useful. And now let's look at Ward. So when it comes to Ward, obviously Brulu Cathar is very good because it has Ward paid 3 life, which your opponent might not want to do. The Sphinx costs too much. The Kiri costs too much, or Kyrie. And all of these cost too much, so I would not recommend it. On the other hand, we have, this is just a warrior guy. That's not very good. This is not Ward. They just have to restore in the Tide, which, I mean, come on, at this point, Wizard, your search engine is worse than the ones like you can find online. Yeah, so those are, when it comes to war creatures, there's really not that many. The Sky Turtle is one that comes to mind, might be decent, but even then, it's not the best. So countering mono blue, I think the best war hexproof is still that one that's not always hexproof, right? Only when it's untapped, which hopefully your creatures are untapped when your opponent's trying to bounce it. So that's one of the plays against it. Otherwise, just hope you're not in a mono blue meta, because in a mono blue meta, this deck's not, you know, insanely good. Also, what is this? Why did this happen? I don't know. Bug in the current meta? Oh, it's because I look for hexproof. Okay, so yeah. When it comes to this deck, I really like it though. I do think the Storm the Festival pull is very fun, and as you can see, when you're winning by like a mile. So maybe cut up the popular two and put in some early game sort of tempo cards like Faithful Absence or some March, right? Those could help you against mono blue or mono black decks a little bit better, but then it stops against those go on the board decks, right? If you have a big board, if your opponent has a big board presence, depopulate is very good. So this is kind of the trade-off you have to make. And I really do like this deck. There's a lot more fine-tuning to be done. I think the land base, having 25 lands was good. We didn't struggle too much with lands today, but you know, that's luck-based. Obviously, mull for the Lone Speaker as much as you can. The games that we get the Lone Speaker out, you can see early game that we really can hit our curve a lot better. So that's the deck. That's how I feel about it. The longer video today because playing this deck against mono blue is such a mind. How do I say it? Such a maze to navigate. It gives you such a headache. But yeah, it's very fun when we do win, and we won 2 out of 3 games. That's pretty good against mono blue. So I got that. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys next time.